Good morning, Peter. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. And how did you feel when you woke up and saw all of a sudden saw that the price spiked again, or continued its spike from yesterday?
I was as ecstatic as as I
Yes,
can be.
yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, it went up to 773. 33 cents, that's what it is at the moment. This is quite a nice graph because this graph is for a month and you can see the price movement we've had this month of November. But it's actually been a very, very, very good month, Peter.
It's been a very, very good month for the price, yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
it's been an interesting month in the news as well. Well, actual fact is, I must say, this is the second day of the month. We are talking about November.
Yeah, we're talking about November. So
Mm.
November was definitely quite an interesting month. And, it just seems that we continually talk about hacking. And we're back on our Facebook page, and here's an article from Saudi Arabia. They've suffered actually a series of major cyber hacking attacks.
I read that article on Bloomberg, and apparently it looks like it's been a attack from the Iranian cyber attackers that attack it, the Iranian government
Mm.
that did this. And but we've seen so much on hacking and cyber attacks and ransomware, and it just doesn't stop.
It doesn't. But as we've said before, it's when there's a problem like this, there's always a solution. So and those solutions are starting to come to the fore now.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, it's always going to be a competition between the hackers and the technology to stay ahead of them. This is always going to be like this.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, we're coming up to the Italian referendum. It says, yeah, Italian referendum could send global investors to Bitcoin.
Well, the Italian Prime Minister is throwing his hat in the ring and saying, look, if he loses this referendum, he will resign. And these next few months coming up with the French elections, the German elections, the Austrian elections, this could break up the whole European Union, this, and this will be the end of the euro.
Yes, it's actually quite amazing what has happened in the world this year, and what's going into next year. I mean, there just seems to be such a lot of change.
Well, there's two people that's predicted this that I've been following for a while. One is a guy called Jim Rogers, who's a commodity investor, and the other one is George Soros, the fund manager. In actual fact, Jim Rogers and George Soros worked together for many years, but they've both been predicting that the euro would not survive and that the European Union will break up. And thus far they seem to be spot on with their predictions. This will all be very, very bullish for Bitcoin.
Yes, very much so, very much so. So, so there's definitely a lot of action happening soon. Hey, 2017 is going to be an incredible year for Bitcoin.
There's action coming, action.
Lots of action, lots of action. Okay, so down under, the Australians, says the Australian digital currency advocates launch self-regulation effort. So they've got a new product that's a new code of conduct, actually, that's aimed at promoting self-regulation.
Very interesting.
An angle. It's definitely a different angle. So it just says here, one of the key suggestions in the report was that as the government formulates a more concrete strategy for regulating digital currencies like Bitcoin, self-regulation amongst companies working with the tech can help fill that gap.
Absolutely. And, self-regulation is important because, the industry needs to work on their own, on policing themselves as well, besides government. So it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're in Finland. Finland's central bank organizes blockchain event. Just there's so many of these blockchain events popping up. There's a few coming on. There's one in London, South Africa having. In fact, there are lists and lists of seminars happening around the world, and probably even close to you, wherever you are.
You can go to a seminar wherever you want to. There's always something going on in this arena.
Yes, absolutely. So very exciting. It says here, our task is to ensure the reliability and efficiency of the payment system and overall financial system, and to participate in the development. Only financial stuff can go on the blockchain. There's all sorts of things that the blockchain can be used for. Besides
Yes. Well, this is what I've been saying. The killer app for the blockchain that everybody's been looking for has been there all along. It's Bitcoin itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's always lots of talk about Bitcoin mining. People seem to think that to make money in Bitcoin, you need to be mining Bitcoin. But right in the beginning, it was pretty easy to do it. You could just do it with your home computer. But as the difficulty increased, it's just not possible to do it. So he has an article about pros and cons of starting Bitcoin mining farm. So it says, no more child's play. Not easy anymore.
Well, it's not easy at all, and the guys are not making lots of profits, which is the concerning for the miners. If you don't have a big mine with a lot of computers that's already paid for, you're not going to make a profit. And so yeah, it's good that we're looking at. We haven't looked at this for a while, but yeah, the mining is like I said, mining is not profitable, and that makes me wonder, Tracy, about this whole cloud mining concept. I've looked at a lot of these cloud mining companies, and the numbers just don't add up. But that's a different discussion.
Yes, absolutely. But we've also been talking about the Bitcoin price a lot, and the fact that there's just such a variation in the Bitcoin price. And here's an article about the African markets. Says, raising suspicions of foul play. But I mean, there are problems. When a country has a problem with their fiat currency, all of a sudden the Bitcoin price starts to rocket, and you're paying huge amounts of money for Bitcoin. Still pretty cheap in the way we think of it in future terms, but still people are actually having to pay a premium.
Well, I mean, we're talking about this yesterday about the premiums being paid in Nigeria on Bitcoin.
Absolutely. And here's a little article of this morning about the price breakout. So, the thing is, are we going to test the 780 level?
I don't know, but while you have that picture on, can I have a sip of my coffee?
You can. Just no slurping. Thank you very much.
The thing is, Tracy, if I don't slurp, people don't know that I'm actually really taking a sip. You know what I mean?
Yes, another article about the Bitcoin price keeps breaching 750, and one of our readers actually said, reached 775 this morning.
Yeah,
so,
it's not actually broken. It's not actually broken through the 750 level. And if I remember that technical analysis correctly, the guys were saying if it breaks this and it goes to 800, we can see 1,200 by the end of the year. This is what the guys
said. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, let's see what happens. Very exciting times ahead. There's a Bitcoin snake coming out of the computer.
I like the snake charmer. Is this you charming the Bitcoin?
Well, I do look a little different to the guy with the hat on his head, but yeah. And of course, Bitcoin never sleeps, and that's why you go to bed one day and you wake up the next morning, and all of a sudden the Bitcoin price has moved. The volume, traded volume, has increased.
There's two things that can happen while you go to sleep, and this is what you need to remember. One is you can wake up and the Bitcoin price has gone up. The second one is don't leave your money in exchange, because you wake up the next morning and the exchange has been hacked or the hot wallet's been hacked. Make sure you keep your Bitcoin safe while you're sleeping.
Yes. So, the Chinese are very involved in Bitcoin and the blockchain. And here's a local Chinese government that started help funding blockchain startups. So they're helping startups. And there's many of these funds all over the world wanting to help, people who do startups or have great ideas, to move forward.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, it says it has granted a blockchain startup bank ledger 1.5 million yuan.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we'll definitely. They just say that it's actually a blockchain that can issue digital assets, enable smart contracts, perform transactions real time. This is this poor guy who's actually realized he should have bought more Bitcoin.
It looks like Gordon. It looks like Gordon Ramsay, but it's not him, is it?
Yeah. And here's another one that actually also in China again launches another 20 million Bitcoin fund.
The Chinese have decided they're going to just buy up the whole world's Bitcoins now.
So, wanting to do invest in Bitcoin related companies. They are going, I mean, because, you know, they have got about 70% of the world's Bitcoin mining operations within the Chinese borders. So it's understandable that they'd be going after all these blockchain opportunities.
It's almost like a gold rush, you know, like in the olden days where people were running after the gold mines, or the gold, you know, opening all kinds of businesses in the gold industry or the oil rush and stuff like this. It's like this is the new digital gold rush, and the Chinese are rushing in where others fear to tread.
Absolutely rushing in, absolutely rushing in. And then here's another one. And I just thought this was pretty interesting, this article. Illinois blockchain initiative unveiled. US state reveals policy and plan to attract innovators. But now it's because they are trying to wanting to get business going here.
Well, you know, Chicago doesn't want to be left behind. If you think about it, Chicago at the moment, I don't know if people realize this, is one of the most powerful financial cities in the world, because the biggest financial exchange, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is in Chicago, and they trade all the foreign exchange and the US government bonds there. So, you know, this is by far the biggest money market anywhere. And surely they want to be involved in the Bitcoin market. So I can see why they are, you know, pushing this.
Yeah, definitely. And they also said that they want to do, they want to push development of specific blockchain prototypes for use in the government.
Okay, well, we'll see what comes of that.
I think time's ahead. Peter, that's the news for today.
All right, that's nice, Tracy. The news is, like always, very interesting, entertaining, and I think it might surprise us this weekend. There's a lot of stuff to keep your eyes on, so we might talk over this weekend again. But if not, go to our Facebook page, follow, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and if there's any breaking news, come and check. We'll definitely report on it.
Absolutely. So thanks very much, and we'll chat again soon.
We'll chat again soon. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, Peter.